Again here. Hope y'all had a good week. This week's song is called There's a Song in Everything. And I co-wrote it with Tom Buchan. I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to play the song and come back and have a little chat about it afterwards. See you in a minute.
Friday night football halftime, pissed off Johnny got his collarbone broke. Love struck, bad luck, wrong girl, life sucks, roll it up and take a big toke. Cowboys, guitars, yellow moon, campfires, those kind of days are gone. Blue lights melt down, throw it out right now, straighten up and keep your heads down. No matter what you're doing, no matter where you're going, there's a song just right for you. It knows what you're thinking, pours what you're drinking, sticks in your brain like glue. When your world breaks down, it'll bring it back around. If you're coming apart at the seams, you can't help but feel it, so you just gotta sing it. There's a song in everything. Beer joint, county line, big fight outside, somebody went to jail. Grandma porch swing, grandpa sweet tea, swear the world's gone to hell. Sunday morning, who's first peeling out front, church race home for chicken dinner. And Powerball jackpot, big cash, my God, a rich man was the winner. No matter what you're doing, no matter where you're going, there's a song just right for you. It knows what you're thinking, pours what you're drinking, sticks in your brain like glue. When your world breaks down, it'll bring it back around. If you're coming apart at the seams, you can't help but feel it, so you just gotta sing it. There's a song in everything. Ain't it funny how some words, three chords and a melody can take you to the place where you never thought you could ever be. Just right for you. It knows what you're thinking, pours what you're drinking, sticks in your brain like glue. When your world breaks down, it'll bring it back around. If you're coming apart at the seams, you can't help but feel it, so you just gotta sing it. There's a song in everything. There's a song in everything.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that one. I like that song a lot. There's a little bit of a history behind coming to that song, so it's a little bit longer of a story than I usually have. So settle in, kids. It's story time. It starts way back in the mid-'80s when I went broke, and me and my best friend Denver wound up living under a bridge. I'll try and do the short version of this. But anyway, we wound up living under a bridge in Ventura, California. I had 2 changes of clothes, a sleeping bag, and a tent that we had borrowed from a friend, and my guitar. And we didn't have jobs, and so I would walk the 7 miles into town every day and put applications for work in. But I didn't want somebody to steal my guitar, so I always carried it with me. So everybody that I applied with was asking about the guitar and everything. So everybody knew I was a songwriter, and I didn't have a phone number or an address, for anybody to call me back and get a job. Had no bank account. So what I'd do is I'd put in applications every Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I would go back to the same places and see if they had a job. So there was this one place, it was a hotel restaurant combination, and they always had their alley rally before they opened up at 11, around 10:30 or so in the morning. And I would always show up for this alley rally, and I would ask the manager if he had any positions available for me every day, and he'd like, no, I don't have anything for you. And I just kept coming back, and I did it to 100 places, and nobody wanted to hire me because I was living on the street and I didn't have a phone number, an address, a shower. Now, the bridge we were living under was close to a campground, and we used to go in and get there before the security guard got there at 5 in the morning, and we'd steal showers so that we could get clean, and we'd wash the clothes that we weren't wearing in the sink and let them dry over by our tent. But anyway, one day I finally went to the manager and I'm like, listen, I'm so hungry. I'll work for a week just for food if you will do that. And then if you're happy with my work, then you hire me for something, anything. I don't care what it is. And if you're not happy, I won't bother you again. And he looked at me with compassion, and he was a great guy. And he said, I can't hire you just for food. That's illegal. He says, but I fired 5 people for not showing up for their shifts in the past month, and you've been here every day. And he said, what I'll do is I'll hire you as a dishwasher. And I said, great. And he goes, and I'll give you a meal every day. And I was just thrilled because I hadn't eaten anything solid in a couple months. And I was down to like 92 pounds. Denver and I have a picture we took when we first got our first paychecks, and we both just looked, horrible. So skinny, and our cheeks were sunk in. You can see even on this video that I've got a gut now. I'm kind of proud of it. Everybody else is trying to lose theirs. I've been working years to get this one. But anyway, he hired me as a dishwasher, and promptly I got pneumonia. But I didn't dare call in sick or anything like that. So I bought a bandana at the Goodwill for 35 cents and wore the bandana so I wouldn't cough all over the clean dishes. Anyway, to make a long story short, he was happy with my job as a dishwasher. He moved me to a prep cook, and then a line cook, and then a busboy, and then a waiter, and finally as a bartender. And when I was the bartender, he would come in every day for lunch. And I always had my guitar with me because I didn't want anybody to steal it under the bridge. I hadn't quite gotten out from under the bridge yet. I wasn't making enough money for that. But I was eating. And anyway, every day he would come in for lunch, and he'd ask me to play whatever song I wrote the night before. Now, he was a great music lover. And I remember distinctly he loved Judy Collins and he loved Dire Straits. Those were his 2 favorites. And he wasn't in the business at all. He didn't really know anything about the business of it. Neither did I. I was still fairly young and naive about a lot of this stuff. But he told me, he said, he loved my songs. He became a big fan of my writing. And he told me, he said, what you need to do is write songs like it's a job. And I was like, I'm in Ventura, California. Who's going to hire me to write songs? And he says, well, I've got an idea. I need a night auditor at the hotel side. It takes 30 minutes to do the audit. I'll train you how to do it, but I need somebody there for 8 hours a night. If you'll do the night audit, you bring your guitar every night. You can be out from under the bridge during the most dangerous part of the day, and it pays $1,000 a month. Well, $1,000 a month to me at that point was like double what I was making, and it was just like a godsend. And I knew I could get an apartment if I was making $1,000 a month. And so he said, what you do is you come in, and the 7.5 hours that you're not doing anything, you write me 5 songs every night. Well, I didn't know any better. I was like, he didn't either. It was like, okay, 7.5 hours. The song takes 4.5 minutes to sing. How long can it take to write it? You know, it's like 5 songs. Whew, no problem. So I would sit there. I went over and started doing that job and got an apartment, and I would write him 5 songs a night. Now, it's crazy to write that many songs. You run out of ideas real quick. But what it does is you start, it's like working out. You just get better and better at it, and this one will have a good part to it, and this one will have a good part to it, and you'll combine them and make a new song, and you get to the point. I mean, I had no ideas after about a month, so I would write a song about anything. I mean, 2 flies crawling across the window pane. I would create this story about how they'd been away from each other all day and were finally coming back home. I mean, stupid stuff. But I needed to give him his 5 songs every morning. And he would critique them every morning at 7 o'clock in the morning and tell me, you know, what he liked and what he didn't like. And I would just try and incorporate what he liked into my next batch of songs and go on like that. Well, it's during this period that I met Wayne Carson. Now, Wayne Carson had written Always on My Mind in the letter, Give Me a Ticket for an Airplane, if you remember that song. And he was the first person I ever met that made a living writing songs for other people. And he and I became friends. At this time, I'm writing my 5 songs a night. And I tell him what my deal is. And Wayne had been in Nashville most of his life. I mean, he knew how this business worked, and he knew that 5 songs a night was crazy, but he was competitive as hell. And he didn't tell me that 5 songs a night was crazy. What he did was he would go home while I was at work from 11 to 7. He'd stay up all night and he'd write 5 songs. And then I would get off at 7 in the morning and I'd go sleep on his couch until he woke up about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And we had a little studio built in his house there, a little Fostex 8-track. And we would eat breakfast together, and then we'd go in and we'd demo all 10 songs, his 5 and my 5, which is just a crazy schedule to be doing. But I didn't know any better, and I was having the time of my life, so who cares? So Wayne wrote some great songs during that period, so did I. And I just got better and better, and hanging out with him made me better and better. And so, you know, fast forward about 30 years, I'm telling Tom Bachman this story, and I'm like, I would just run out of ideas, but, you know, you can really, if you look, there's a song in everything. And he goes, well, let's write that. And I said, all right. And we just started throwing pictures back and forth at each other. It was like, you know, Johnny got his collarbone broke, and everything that you could write a song about, we just gave a taste of it all the way through this song. And it came pretty fast once we got started on it, and I still love the idea behind it. And so that's the story of how this song came about, and I hope you liked it. It's a special song to me because it's actually 40 years in the making. So anyway, hopefully everybody enjoyed it, and y'all have a great week. And once again, if anybody wants to contact me, my email number is, or address is abnormanmusic@gmail.com. Do co-writing, do productions, whatever you want to do. Um, we have fun no matter what. And so with that, I'm going to say goodbye for the week and have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time. Thank you all for listening, sharing, subscribing, all of that. Have a good night.